Cinemassacre's Monster Madness.
The Wasp Woman from 1959 is another one of those public domain films that I'll always remember as having wasted lots of my time on. It stars Susan Cabot as Janice Starlin, the head of a company that makes beauty products, and sales are going down. The loss of sales is blamed on her aging looks. Apparently, not only is she the owner of the company, but she's also the public spokesperson. So in order to look younger and appeal to the customers, she gets the help of a scientist who invents a serum to reverse her aging. If such a thing could exist, then here's an idea. If they wanted to raise sales, sell the fucking serum. That's only a secondary agenda. The serum works, so they say. She hardly looks any different. The big problem is that the serum is made from enzymes of wasps, so of course that turns her into a killer wasp woman. Supposedly, that's actually Susan Cabot spitting chocolate syrup onto the actor's face. And that's what it looks like. So it's a woman with a wasp's head. On the poster, it's a wasp with a woman's head. Wow, I've seen some movie posters that aren't accurate, but come on, that's the complete opposite. Maybe they thought it was like The Fly, which came out a year earlier, where a man and a fly switch bodies, so there's a man with a fly's head and a fly with a man's head. I do like the look of the Wasp Woman. She's freakishly weird. It's the only part of the movie that verges on being creepy. I think she could have been one of the great classic monsters if only she was in a better movie. According to the book, Roger Corman, The Best of the Cheap Acts, Susan Cabot was injured by the bottle that hits her, and the smoke suffocated her, so the mask had to be torn off in a hurry, which ripped off some of her skin. I'm sure she wasn't happy because, guess what? It was her last movie. The biggest problem with the film is that the Wasp Woman hardly appears. You don't see a whole lot of her in wasp form until the very end. That would be okay if the rest of the film were any good, if the consequences of her turning into a wasp would have had more effect on her human self whenever she changes back. She doesn't really seem to acknowledge that from time to time she blacks out and people turn up dead. Unlike the Wolfman, the character doesn't go through any emotional change as a result of what's happening, other than just being excited about her youth serum. It leaves us little to care about other than just waiting for her to turn into a wasp and kill somebody else. And what's up with the music? Oh, that's real scary. It's about as appropriate as listening to Slayer while watching an old woman in a rocking chair knitting a sweater. I've always heard Plan 9 from Outer Space was the worst movie ever made, and I could never understand why nobody said that about The Wasp Woman, released the same year as Plan 9. As a kid, I took notice of the directing credit, Roger Corman. At the time, I didn't know who he was, but I figured he must have been worse than Ed Wood. That was until I realized Roger Corman is one of the most prolific directors of all time, making more movies than anyone I can think of, with varying quality, and launching the careers of too many famous actors to count. The first time I saw The Wasp Woman was on TNT's Monster Vision, Christmas '93, the same night they showed The Giant Claw, The Cyclops, and From Hell It Came. I stayed up late to watch it, and I remember drifting in and out of sleep, trying to make sense of what was happening. The next time I saw it on TV was in '95 as part of a Halloween special called Attack of the Killer Bee Movies, hosted by Elvira and a bunch of teen stars including Dustin Diamond, Screech from Saved by the Bell. Yes, just imagine Elvira and Screech sitting on a couch watching The Wasp Woman, Navy versus the Night Monsters, Killers from Space, and Monster from Green Hell. Yeah, this actually happened. They'd all sit there and crack really bad jokes at the movies. It was one of the most awkward things I've ever seen on television. It was kind of like a really poor version of Mystery Science Theater 3000, but I wasn't yet aware of that show, so strange enough, I have Attack of the Killer Bee Movies to thank for making me realize that making fun of bad movies is a thing. And now that's what we all do on the internet, so it's come full circle for me.